Okay, let's dive into this. We're going to talk about a principle from way back in 1961 that is, believe it or not, totally reshaping how AI sees your content right now. It's an incredible story about a tiny machine with a huge lesson for today.
So our story kicks off with this truly revolutionary piece of tech from IBM. It was called simply the Shoebox. And what this thing could do, well, for its time, it was basically magic.
Picture this. It's 1961. You're at the World's Fair in New York City. The air is just buzzing with excitement about the future. And right in the middle of all that, IBM is about to pull the curtain back on something nobody saw coming. And it wasn't some massive, room-sized computer like you'd expect. Nope. It was this small, kind of unassuming little box. Honestly, it looked more like a fancy calculator than anything else. But, looks can be deceiving. Because this was the big reveal. This little box could actually listen to a person speak and understand them. This was the world's very first voice recognition machine. You can imagine the audience was just completely stunned. Now, hold on. It couldn't understand everything. Its vocabulary was incredibly tiny, just 16 words in total. You had the numbers 0 through 9 and then 6 super simple commands. Basically just enough to work as a voice-operated calculator. But here's where it gets really interesting. As people started to play with it, they found this weird little quirk. And this quirk, well, it's the key to everything we're talking about. Turns out it wasn't a bug in the system at all. It was the whole point.
So check this out. If you tried to be all polite and conversational and said something like, "I would like to add 3 and 7, the machine would just sit there, nothing. But if you gave it a direct, structured command, 3 plus 7, boom, it worked perfectly, instantly. It didn't get statements, you see. It only understood commands. And that right there was the brilliant insight. The engineers who built the Shoebox knew that by making the machine only understand a strict set of commands, they could make it unbelievably accurate. That limitation, it was completely intentional.
What they did was build it on something called query architecture. See, it wasn't designed to figure out all the messy nuances of how we talk. It was designed to respond to a structured query. You had to speak its language, ask the question the right way, the way it was built to hear it. Okay, so let's fast forward 60+ years. Let's see how this old-school principle is the secret ingredient in the massive AI systems we use every single day. The connection here is, wow, it's so direct.
Right about now, you might be asking, okay, cool story, but why are we talking about this? What on earth does a simple little calculator from 1961 have to do with something as powerful as ChatGPT or Gemini?
Because modern AI operates on that exact same principle. Here's the best way to think about it. A search engine like Google gives you a whole library of books where the answer might be hiding. An answer engine like these AIs, it rips out the exact page with the answer and just hands it to you. They are the direct descendants of the IBM Shoebox, built to retrieve direct responses. And this right here shows the big problem for most content out there. AI will often just scroll right past vague, topic-based content, like an article called Understanding Modern Marketing. But it will find and even cite content that is a direct answer to a specific question. The title on the right works because it's framed as a question. That's the secret sauce.
So let this sink in, because it's the new reality. You can publish tons of amazing, high-quality information, but if it's not structured as a response to a specific query, these powerful answer engines will just pass it right by. So, how do we fix this, right? How do you actually make your content visible to AI? Well, you use a system called the Query Response Framework. It's all about deliberately engineering your content so it's not just information, it's the answer.
It all starts with layer 1. This is the foundation of the whole thing.
And that layer is called question mapping. So before you even write a single word, you've got to figure out the exact questions people are really asking. What are they typing into search bars? What are they asking your sales team? Then you map every single piece of content you create to one of those specific questions. Now, once you've got your questions all mapped out, it's time for layer 2. And this is all about presentation. Layer 2 is answer structure. This means you got to format your content like a direct answer. Use headers that are actual questions. Put the most important information, the answer, right there at the top. And seriously, learn to love formats like FAQs. So instead of a boring headline like "Our Services," make it "What services do we offer?" It's a small change, but it is so powerful. And finally, we get to layer 3. This is the technical step that builds trust with the machine. This last layer is retrieval optimization. It's about using technical signals, and a huge one is called FAQPage schema. Now, don't let the name scare you. It's just a bit of code you add to the back end of your site. Your human visitors won't even see it. But to an AI, it's like a giant flashing neon sign that says, hey, over here, this is a high-quality question, and here is its direct answer. This is how you build what we call machine trust.
Okay, so now that you get the theory behind all this, let's get practical. Let's talk about a 4-step action plan you can start using right away.
Here it is. It's that simple. 1. Build a library of the actual questions your audience is asking. 2. Rework your content to be direct answers to those questions. 3. Use that technical FAQPage schema to signal your answers to the AIs. And 4. Link related questions to each other to build this incredible web of expertise.
So, I'll leave you with this final thought. The secret that was revealed by a little machine the size of a shoebox way back in 1961 is more important today than ever before. So take a hard look at your own work and ask yourself, is my content just information kind of floating out there hoping to be found? Or is it an engineered answer just waiting for the right question? Because in the age of AI, that difference, well, it's everything.